When you picture the Knights Templar, what comes to mind? Fearsome warriors of the Crusades, clad in white mantles with a red cross. Icons of chivalry, riding through foggy landscapes, defending the Christian faith. For centuries, history has remembered them for their martial prowess and sacred vows. But beyond the battlefield, the Templars wielded another kind of power, one that shaped the very foundations of modern finance. Amidst the chaos of the Crusades, pilgrims traveled thousands of miles from Europe to the Holy Land. These journeys were long, arduous, and incredibly dangerous. Bandits, shipwrecks, and political turmoil were constant threats. Pilgrims often carried their life savings with them, making them prime targets. Yet for many, faith demanded they make this perilous journey. The question was, how could they protect their wealth along the way? The answer came from an unexpected source: the Knights Templar. The Templars pioneered what many historians consider Europe's first international banking system. A pilgrim could deposit their money in one city, let's say London, and receive a letter of credit. This simple piece of parchment, encoded with a cipher, was the key. Upon reaching Jerusalem, they could present this letter and withdraw an equivalent sum of money. This innovation transformed a deadly trek across continents into a manageable financial operation. It was a revolutionary concept that separated the movement of money from the physical movement of gold and silver. At the heart of this network stood the Temple Church in London and other Templar preceptories across Europe. Often described as the Western Union of the Crusades, these churches weren't just religious hubs. They became bustling financial centers. Here, Templar knights, who were surprisingly literate and numerate, meticulously recorded deposits and withdrawals. They guarded treasures for kings and nobles and ensured that pilgrims' funds could be accessed safely, thousands of miles away. Unlike the fragmented systems of money changers and pawnbrokers of the time, the Templars offered something new: security, reliability, and a continent-spanning network. For the first time, money could move across borders without physically traveling, drastically reducing risk. This empowered not just pilgrimage but also trade and diplomacy in ways previously unimaginable. But how did a military order of monks come to dominate the world of finance? The answer lies in two words: trust and organization. The Templars were bound by strict vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Their reputation for discipline and unwavering integrity made them uniquely suited to handle vast sums of money. Everyone from kings and queens to wealthy merchants entrusted them with their fortunes, knowing that betraying that trust was not just bad business, it was a sin. The Templars' financial activities were extensive. They managed large agricultural estates across Europe, which generated immense income. They lent money to monarchs to finance wars and even acted as royal treasurers. Their wealth became legendary and, eventually, controversial. Critics accused them of greed, secrecy, and holding undue influence over the crowned heads of Europe. But in reality, they were innovators, creating systems that look remarkably like modern banking. They offered secure deposits, credit transfers, and even early forms of checks. The impact of their financial empire was profound. By providing a secure way to transfer wealth, the Templars lubricated the wheels of the medieval economy. They created liquidity in a world where moving physical coin was fraught with danger. They were, in essence, the lifeblood of an interconnected medieval world, long before the rise of stock markets or credit cards. Yet this incredible story is often overlooked. Popular history prefers the myths of the Templars, whispers of hidden treasures, secret rituals, and epic battles for the Holy Grail. The revolutionary impact of their banking system, the very architecture of medieval finance, has largely remained in the shadows. But if you look closely at the records, at the ledgers and letters preserved in stone and on parchment, a different narrative emerges. It's a story of innovation, ingenuity, and the bridging of continents through finance. Just think about it. A merchant in Paris could deposit 100 gold coins and walk safely to Jerusalem, collecting the same value upon arrival. In modern terms, it was as if the Templars operated an international ATM network, centuries ahead of its time. This financial infrastructure didn't just protect pilgrims. It allowed the Crusades themselves to be funded and coordinated on an unprecedented scale. The Templar system was a catalyst for the financial revolution in Europe. By combining military might, religious authority, and fiscal expertise, they created a model that would inspire the great banking houses of later centuries. From the powerful Medici family in Florence to the merchants of Venice and eventually the financial centers of London, modern finance can trace its origins back to these warrior monks. In the end, the Knights Templar were more than just crusaders. They were architects of trust in a chaotic world. They built a financial network that moved wealth across continents with unparalleled security. The battles they fought were not just for land or for faith, they were battles for innovation, for stability, and for the very foundation of a new economic order. So, the next time you think of medieval knights, remember this: the Templars didn't just wield swords. They wielded something just as powerful: money. And through it, they changed the course of history. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more hidden histories. See you next time.